Well, there we are. We're on. We're live. We are booming live again on a Monday morning. Monday morning, let's see how many visitors we get pop in this morning. Say hello. Well, good morning to everybody. And what are we going to talk about today? Well, I think we've got a little bit to talk about today. I've had a few ideas. I'm not stressed. That's why I put that in the title. No stress, no drama. That's all done with now. The stress side of things, that's all over. There she is. So, I'm probably, I imagine, morning Ian and morning Roman. No doubt you'll still be watching, even though you're at home. Oh, blimey, Chris, you got out early, do the shopping. I was still in the land of Nod at 7:07. Cool. Bits of him, Do you know what? I've got to say, regardless of what comes now, just a little personal message to Ian Glenn and the Royal Mint. I know you're going to take this as really big-headed, but I don't really care. I'm looking forward to this. I'm actually looking forward to a year lockdown. I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably one of the few people in the country looking forward to it right now. I'm going to enjoy this, and I'm going to enjoy the battering that I give 288 Group and Royal Mint over the next 6 months. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. That's a bit I like. So I'm not stressed one little bit, as it happens. The only thing I'm stressed about is, the only thing I was stressed about, so here's the thing. I was stressed. I was stressed out of my tiny little mind, I was. Where's the money going to come from? And we're going to fix this, and we're going to fix that. And it was a daily occurrence, wasn't it? I mean, you know, the things that get thrown at me, the things I've had thrown at me just from a personal, business, human point of view, over the last, over the last 2 years, it's a miracle, really. We're still here. And yet I am. I'm still here. I'm the only one left. There's only me. And I still ain't going to go under. I still ain't going to give up. And here's the thing, little snippet from the weekend, is that they are in the process of, and have started to, relax the law a little bit on insolvency. Now again, I'll say, this is a very fluid time, and it's going to be a very fluid time over the next 6 months, and they're going to bring packages out, and they're going to change those packages, and they're going to do all sorts of things. All sorts of things are going to keep happening over and over and over and over again. But an important thing is, I'm still here working within the rules that the government set. And to that extent, I've had a bit of an idea, and I'm looking for Judith when Judith comes in. So if you're watching, Judith, can you pop by, can you just give me a thumbs up, let me know you're here, because there's something I want to actually discuss, but I'm not going to discuss it until I've got Judith on. Morning, John. Chris Dyer, Danielle, hello, darling. John. Morning, Richard. Are you at the bank this morning? or you got a day off this morning? I'm doing the rude thing of picking my nails again. I do that. I sit here. CJF Coins. Hello, Mr. CJF Coins. And here we have a few people all popping in. Boom, 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 boom. I reckon that comes from you, Lorna, I do. I reckon that boost comes from you. Because even though a notification gets sent out to everybody to let everybody know that we're doing a video, all of a sudden I notice on my phone that you've put that notification out, and boom, we get a few. So there's a lot of, I think there's people that wait in the volunteer group, etc. And then there's Lorna's notification, and they click on that and they come in that way, because all of a sudden the clock goes up. See? Good morning to you all. There she is. It's the one I wanted. Hello, Adam. Here she is, Judith. Now then, Judith, I want you to pay attention, right? So, have I got your attention? Just give me a thumbs ups. I don't want to be talking while you're darting backwards and forwards to the cooker. So just give me one of them. Let me know I've got good. Now then, I'm changing the rules again on what I'm going to do. And because they've now relaxed the law a little bit on the insolvency, I think I have a little bit more room to manoeuvre. Now, I am going to do what I said I was going to do last week, which is all of that I'm sticking under one label as debt, all of it. And I'm parking it over there because I have got to continue somehow, some way, if I can. If I can't, then I'll just go poof. But with what's going on with the virus, whereas ordinarily, probably my first job today or next week would be going and filling in the bankruptcy forms and going through that process. But because of the virus, things are a lot more relaxed, and I don't have to do that yet. Besides, there's no point, because the courts are going to close. Yes, they're only closing for a couple of 3 weeks, but if you keep your eye on the news, you know this ain't going to be over in 3 weeks, and you know this ain't going to be over in 3 months. If you've got any semblance of something up here that makes 2 and 2 makes 4 when you watch things, you will see it with the news, especially if you don't concentrate on ITV, BBC and Channel 4. Unfortunately, they don't show you what you need to know. They just keep regurgitating the same stuff over and over again. It's a shame. But you will start to see stories coming out now. And some of those stories will be things like, for example, there are over 1 million people. I mean, get your head around this figure, right? There is over 1 million people in India that are transient workers. And these people will get on public buses and they will travel hundreds of miles to get into wherever these big towns and cities and wherever to find work. And a lot of these people, they turn up, they haven't got a job, they turn up and then they go and they find a day's work. And then they go home. Or a week's work, and then they go home, whichever way they do it, right? But they do this. And this is in an area where, if you want to run for the bus, there's a ladder on the back of the bus. So you just run and jump on the ladder, or you have people clambering up the sides of a double-decker bus. I mean, I remember seeing that in pictures 30 years ago. It's still going on. And these open-top buses, you see them, and there's like all these people clambering up the sides of the buses, getting on the bus, and all getting in the bus, right? All cramming in the bus. Not just sitting down on a bus, but cramming in the bus. Hundreds of miles, all that. 1 million people, right? Sorry, Judith, I'll come back to you in a second. 1 million people. And all of a sudden, the government takes away half the public transport. So now there's no public transport to take these people back home. So now there's more than 1 million people literally on the walk in this last few days, on the walk, right? And they're all travelling, and they're all like that, 1 million people like that. And at the moment, you know, you can't walk along the road without bumping into somebody, right? All of a sudden, these people are all going back to where they live, all over India. That is, India is going to explode like you wouldn't believe. We haven't even touched the surface yet. Anyway, coming back to you, Judith, because you're hanging on. Right, so rules are changing. Rules are changing for everybody, not just for Ian Lambert. They are changing for everybody, not just in England. They are changing all over the world, and they are changing fluently and daily. And so I'm going to take advantage of that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, I can only post if I send a parcel. So whatever I do, I've got to organise a parcel. And let's say an average parcel on a next day delivery type thing is around about 8 or 10 quid-ish, depending on the weight of it, really. Because you can do Hermes, it's a bit cheaper at about, I don't know, 5 or 6 quid sometimes. It depends who you're going to use, right? Whether you've got a printer, especially the company I go to, because I use a place called Interparcel. And if you, any of you, if I've never told you this before, really surprised, but a company called interparcel.com, that's interparcel.com, right? Interparcel, it's like a price comparison. I've used it for 20 years. And you type in your postcode, where I am, type in someone's postcode, like Judith's, and then I tell it how big the parcel is, how much the weight is, what the size is, hit the button, and all of a sudden I will get a list of couriers. I will see TNT, UPS, Hermes, and whatever they've got. And they've all got the prices, whether they sign for it, whether you need a printer in order to order it, whether you don't, and so on and so forth. Right, so it's a price comparison site. And if you've never heard of it, use it. It's good. And they come and they pick the parcel up from the house. Now, at the moment, all the couriers are still working, so I can do parcels. I can't go post office and do anything like that, but I can do parcels. But then I'm limited on money. So this idea that I've now come up with is only going to work for the people that want to meet me in the middle and want to help me a little bit in order to satisfy what I might own. So, pardon me, if I haven't got the money yet for the post of it, I might need to get you to help me to cover the cost of the postage, and I'll cover that on a case-by-case basis. But what I'm going to do is, excuse me, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start off, I mean, we've essentially got all the time in the world now. So I'm going to start off by taking one of you at a time. And I'm going to start off with Judith. So I'm going to start with you one at a time. So now what I want you to do with me, Judith, because you've got my number, is I want you to communicate with me with the thingy. And we will organise exactly how much I owe you, what's owed. Right, Judith? We'll organise what's owed, and then I need to come to an arrangement with you. And I need to see if I owe you, for example, this isn't going to work for people that I only owe a £5 or a £10 to, unfortunately. So those people will just have to wait at the bottom a bit. But the more I owe you, the better, because then I can put it in a parcel, and then I can perhaps do a deal with you. Do you see where I'm going with that? So, supposing, so me and Judith, and I don't want people coming forward now, listen to Uncle Ian and what he's saying. I don't want to see, oh, you owe me money, you owe me money, you owe me money. I already know I owe a lot of you money. But it's only me now. And I've got a lot of other things to do. I've got to change everything. So I'm going to deal with this one at a time. Right? I'm going to take my time and do it, and I'm going to do it one at a time. And I'm going to start with the people that I'm talking to. There is no point starting with somebody else when Judith is one of the ones that's coming into the stream, because that would be counterproductive. If I start with somebody that doesn't come onto the stream, that's going to offend you lot. Quite rightly so, offend Judith. Whoever I start with is going to offend somebody. Well, if I'm going to offend somebody, I'm going to offend first, if I have to choose, the people that ain't watching the stream, in a way. I know it sounds a bit, but in a way, faced with that dilemma. So I'm going to start with the people that watch the stream. right? And then when I've got Judith, right? So now when I've sorted Judith out and me and Judith are okay and she's happy as Larry, I will then mention it again and I will say, who else do I owe money to? And we'll see who pops up, and then I'll take the next name that pops up, and then we'll do a deal with that person. And I'll take you one at a time, and I'll work through you all very slowly, and I'll make sure all of you get sorted. And then later on, if and when any of this all settles down and one thing or another, you can always come back and buy the original item that you bought in the first place. We can worry about that later. But the important thing is to try and get, for me, to try and get from where I am right now to the end of wherever we're going to go. And by the time we get to the end, I was the least amount as possible. So I should be working on everybody. Now, obviously, some people are not going to like this, but investors have to come last. And the reason investors have to come last is because if I put investors first in a climate like this, I think I'd get into trouble, and I think the investors would get into trouble, to be honest, because I would think that they would see it, that the individual customers that have lost quids here and a few quids there and so on and so forth should be reimbursed before investors or owners of businesses or things like that. Do you see what I mean? So, Judith, is that all right with you? We don't have to talk about it here, and I'm not asking you to put here any of your personal business, like how much I owe you and what you bought and whatever. What I'm doing here is just letting everybody know that the first person that I'm going to sort out is Judith. And then when me and Judith are sorted, then I'll get on with somebody else. But I want to start with somebody, and I just want to work on one person at a time, because I've got a humongous amount of work to do here. I am trying hard to sort out. Judith says, sounds like you're trying hard to sort out, Ian. I am trying hard to sort out. The easiest thing in the world is just to go, everybody can bugger off, and that's it, and no one can do anything, and it's legal for me to do that, and bye-bye. You know, it's just so easy. It's as easy as switching this off. Just go, ta-da, bye. But I can't do that. So I'm one of those people that will always fight until, I've always told you that, I'll always fight until there's no fight left, until I've got nothing left, no puff, no nothing, and I ain't there yet. Bit subliminal. teespring.com/no288 if you want one of them. So I'm going to do my absolute best by each and every person, and then I will work on investors. Once I've cleared the decks with everybody else, once I've paid everybody what I owe you, absolutely no problem. So you have a little think, Judith, and you have a little sort out, and then you let me know, and we'll start talking, right? And then we'll get Judith sorted. Now, what's important about that is that once Judith is sorted, and the reason why I'm going to do it the way that I'm doing it, there's no specialness to Judith. I don't know Judith. I haven't picked Judith because there's a relationship between me and Judith, or because she's my most favourite customer, or because I know her, or anything like that. I've picked Judith. Hello, Ailey. I've picked Judith simply because she was one of the people, like Ailey was, and I had to just pick one, and I picked Judith. And I think the reason I picked Judith is because it was one of the last comments that stuck in my head. But like then Ailey and Chris and everybody else, every single one of you, I am going to sort you out. I absolutely promise. Ailey, I promise you I will sort you out. So all we've got to do is we've got to work out what it is that I owe you, and then we have to settle that. Now, the reason I am so adamant, the biggest reason for doing it the way that I'm going to do it, is because if I was to just start on a paperwork somewhere and pick somebody to do this with, right, James Brown over there, who doesn't come into the streams, and I'll go and sort him out, none of you are going to know. None of you. You're not going to know. Now, it's not about me being big-headed, but none of you are going to know that I've done that. And I could come on and say to you, well, I've done that. I've taken this person and I've sorted them out, and I've refunded them, or I've got them to a point where they're happy, and one thing and another. And then you would quite rightly get the ump and go, well, we don't know that. How do we know that? So I think the best way I can do it to get the word going around in the right way, because you will all talk to each other, you're all talking to each other on other streams and so on. The best way I can do it to do it in the right way, I think, is to deal with the people that watch the stream. So now we're going to take Judith. Once I'm sorted out with Judith, once Judith is happy as Larry, then Judith will come on here, no doubt, and say, listen guys, Ian kept his word, I'm happy, I'm sorted out. She doesn't have to say what, it's none of anybody's business what she bought, what she didn't buy. But at some point she'll come on and she'll go, listen guys, Ian did right by me and I'm sorted out, I'm very happy. On to the next one. And you will know that I've done that. And that's really important. That's really, really important, because it is, if I'm going to attempt to do what I'm going to try and do over the next year, it's important I have people that stand by me. And those people will only stand by me if I stand by them and do the right thing, of course. You know, no one's going to stand by me if I go ripping everybody off and taking all their money and giving them nothing. So you'd have to be a right lemon, you know. So there's two reasons for doing the right thing. One is the obvious reason for doing the right thing. Two is you've got to do the right thing in a way that's not going to screw yourself over and is going to make things better. And this is the way that I think I'm going to do it. All right, so when we come off the stream, I've already got a text from Judith. So when we come off the stream, Judith and I will start talking. And it might take me a day, it might take me a week, and it might take me a fortnight. I don't know yet, because I've got to, Judith has got to have a look at what she's owed. I've then got to double check that. She's going to talk to me and say, look, this is what I'm owed. I'm going to double check all that as much as I can. And then I'm going to come up with an offer for her. I'm going to say, okay, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And we're going to hopefully do a deal. Now, if it's, like I say, it's got to be big enough for me to be able to do a parcel, right? If it's not big enough to do a parcel and you're happy to pay for that parcel, then that's cool. I ain't got a problem with that. But I can't afford to go paying, at the moment, I'm saying, I can't afford to go paying out £10, £10, £10, £10, £10, £10, £10 for parcels. But there is a certain amount I can do. That's where we're going to be. Sorry, I was just looking around and I was just seeing over there's loads of boxes of stamps and everything I could do with swapping. But yeah, so that's where we are. That's what we're going to do, and see where we go. That's all I can do. See where we go with it, and hopefully that will work. But like I say, first one, test case, we're going to make Judith the test case. And then once we've sorted Judith out, I can hopefully move on to other people. Oh, I've got an itch under my girdle and I can't scratch it. Okay, so now I've done that little speechy bit, right? Anybody got any questions? Anything anybody wants to ask me, because you can talk to me now. Hello, Andy. But stopping safe is more important, absolutely. I mean, everybody's got to be safe. We've all got to be safe. We've all got to stay safe, we have. The last stream we had was a bit weird. Did you notice that? We had about, I don't know, on average 30 people in the stream, 30, 35 people in the stream. But by the end of the stream, we'd had about 70, 80 thumbs ups. You know, people coming in, leaving a thumbs up and going out, I think. And then you have like something like today and you've got 6. You think, oh, what happened there then? How did it go right up to like 70 or 80 on Friday? Yeah, that's what I thought, Steve. It was last week, 70 odd. I was like, that was a bit weird, because I think that's the first time that's happened. Certainly like that, anyway. I miss Butch. Don't you miss Butch? I miss Butch. I miss Butch splitting the screen up and coming on with me. I know he'll be watching this later, so listen. A bit of love coming out of the bucket, Butch. Hope everything's all right over there. And if you happen to wake up at 3:30 in the morning and you know you've got nothing to do, then you can come on and join us again. But I think you did really well. I mean, Christ on a bike. 3 months you've done it for, something like that. You know, getting up at that time in the morning. And this was his idea to do this show, I have to say. It wasn't my idea, it was Butch's idea to do the show 11 till 1. So, yeah, really miss you, mate. And I'm looking forward to when you come back. And I think so does everybody else, you know. Please send him your best, because he's going to watch this later on. And it'll be nice for him if you punch a comment up and just say, you know, we miss you. And we're looking forward to having you back or something like that. Send him a bit of love. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Butch coming back, and I miss him a lot. John Warm, people like me are working from home, pop in and give a thumbs up, then leave to get on with work. Thanks, John. You should be doing any bloody work. State you're in. That's nice. And I get that. It's just that, is it Friday? Friday's one just was like weirdly anomalied. Because you normally have that regular, you know, if you go through looking at the streams, you sort of see that you've got a regular number of people roughly that come in, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down, and so on. Then all of a sudden you get this one out of the blue and it comes in with 80 thumbs ups, you know. So that was a bit weird. But yes, please do fire me questions. There's, I mean, I know this is going to be a bit scary, right? But have any of you considered the fact that we could have a war coming now? Have any of you considered the fact that this could escalate now and get very, very nasty? I was waiting for the first one to notice. I wasn't going to mention it. I wasn't going to mention it. I was like, how awake are they? Let's see. Let's see if anybody's really awake. Do you want to know what Steve is talking about? See anything missing? No shelves. No desk even. All gone. All gone. Everything that was there, all gone. Oh, you may say. Well, here's the thing. When old Boris and his chums come on the news conferences and they keep telling us life will never be the same again, there is a lot of people that are not getting it. There's a lot of people out there that will panic. There's a lot of people out there that just don't know what to do. They haven't got a clue what to do. I saw a bloke on the news and he said, right, so I've done everything in my flat. I've cleaned everything I can think of. I've fixed anything that needs fixing. Bloke only lives in a little flat. And I've played all my computer games. Now I don't know what to do with myself. And I think to myself, well, you know, I suppose lucky for you, you've got a computer game, because I don't even know how to play them. I've never owned a PlayStation. I've never owned an Xbox. I did own iPods and the other one that they have, but I never owned them to use one. I only bought and sold them. Never ever used one. So I don't understand all those bits and bobses. Last time I played a computer game, it was a thing the size of my iPad, and there was a name that went up and down this side and up and down that side, and a ball that went across. It was like tennis, and it went blip, blip, blip. I scored, blip, and you've got this thing going up the side to stop the blip. You know, stop the ball. That's the last time I played a computer game, if you remember. If anybody around my age remembers when they came out in the 70s, 70s. But, so there are people that haven't got a clue. like me, and I've never owned a game console either, says Judith. We're probably around the same sort of age bracket, I reckon, you know, within sort of 10 years. John Warren says it used to be called Pong. Yeah, Atari or something like that. And even then, you know, go back in them days, that idea was pinched off someone else and big court cases. Anyway, I digress. The point I'm making is, there's a lot of people not ready for something like this. And I am. And that makes me sound really big-headed, I know. But I am. I'm ready for it. This is not going to faze me. Being stuck in my house for a year is not going to faze me. As long as my only stresses in life now, like a lot of you, up until last week, I had different stresses. Things that were seriously stressing me out and making me even more ill, making me use my angina spray and stuff like that. And now I haven't got any, because my only stress is, can I pay the rent? Is there food? Can we have heating and light and stuff and gas to cook with? And can I have a drink? The immediate X's, just like you've got. The immediate X's, that's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. And nobody should for the next year. Nobody should care about anything else apart from the really important stuff to them. What is going to help them live and carry on for a while. And I sort of look at it in that way, see. And, excuse me. And I'm ready for this. I was knocked for 6 18 months ago, or a year ago, whenever it was now, I get confused, when I got diagnosed with a cancer. You know, for what was it, 5 months, I believed I was going to die. I believed I had cancer. I believed I was going to lose all my insides. And then I ended up with getting 2 operations where they did this, and now I have a permanent stoma, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Right, but what that meant was, I had to spend, I was tied to the house for 3 months. I would get up, hobble my way downstairs, sit on the couch, and there I would be for the day and the evening. And if I'm lucky, hobble outside, sit by the pond, have a little bit of exercise up and down the garden like you saw me do, and that was it. That's all I did. And I didn't go out of my box then. So I've got a bit of experience, not just that, but other things that have happened in my life. I've got a bit of experience. So being stuck at home is not going to kill me. Even though I'm an outside person, I'm an outside bird. Well, you know, I used to love working on markets and things like that. That was my joy. But I can adapt very quickly. And that makes it easy for me. So the next year, that's a piece of cake. All I got to do is keep myself busy. And people like this guy who's like, once they've played the computer games, they've run out of things to do. Well, you know, I just think, well, that's just such a waste. Because there's always something to do. There's always something that you can do. You could sit. Right, now I'm going to give you know what I'm like, I go from one end of an analogy to another, right? But you could literally be in a wheelchair, not able to get out your house, and still you could find a way of doing something. For example, first thing that comes to mind, somebody that can't even move out of their house can position themselves near a window with a camera. As long as you've got a camera, you have a way of doing something. So you've got a camera, you can video what's going on outside, upload it like a little diary, you know, same time every day, between 8 in the morning and 9 and half 8 in the morning. This is a 30-minute shot of my street, whatever, you know. But once somebody has done something like that, daft as that sounds, once somebody's done something like that for 3 or 6 months and they've put one up every single day at that time, it'd be amazing how many people would be interested in that. And what could come from that? You could sit at a window and take photographs. And there are websites now where you can join these websites and you can upload your photographs that you've taken, and then you can get paid when people like me come along and want to use one for business or whatever. You can get paid for your photographs. Now, of course, it gets a little bit complicated. You've got to learn how to use these new sites and one thing and another, but you've got nothing else to do for a year. So, you know, there's all sorts of ways that you could tap into something. It doesn't have to be about hoovering the carpet, you know, washing, I don't know, the tiles in the bathroom and super gluing any broken ornaments, playing a few computer games and then running out of ideas. People got to get creative. I know I am. There's a few people in. So every single one of you, because I know I owe Ailey. I don't know what I owe Ailey right now. Don't exactly know how much I owe Ailey, but I do know I owe Ailey. And I do know I owe a few of you. So that's how we're going to do it. It gets boring watching the same person across the road getting dressed. I was given a ukulele a long time ago. I've dusted it down and started using YouTube to learn to play. Well done you, John. I tried to learn the guitar when we first started doing the coins. And I started doing videos to make myself do it. So I was making the videos, you know, learning the guitar with a numpty being me. And all the plink-plinks and all the rest of it, and I thought, right, I'm gonna force myself to do this, and then if I don't do a video, I'm gonna make myself look a wally. So I've got to keep it up. And that will make me learn. And then within a year, I'll be able to play a tune. It's all quite organised in my head. But of course, you know, I didn't keep it up, so I did make myself look a wally, and that was 7 years ago. 7 years. I've been wanting to play an instrument all my life. That was 7 years ago. Things like, for example, where we had the idea for the penny for the homeless and the buy a penny and all of that, right, with the numbers of the orders on and all of that. That is still there. It's on hold. It's one of the things that will be on hold, you know. But what we have got is, I've still got them, letting you know that. So we still have them to put in, and the 2p's with the for the estimate with the numbers on of the sales orders. So those are one of the things that will just stay on hold, and then when we can, we will redo it. We have got that raffle thing up and running, but I think me and Chris might need to have a chat and redo a prize on there and try again with something different, because again, we need to do it on the basis that I can post it. So it would be an idea to make sure the raffle prize is something that can go in a parcel, and I can also be covered for the postage. So I'm going to have a little chat to Chris afterwards, and then we'll see what we can't do with that. Just checking my phone. Okie dokie. Let's just put, oh no, it will be going on there from YouTube, won't it? Automatically. And there's all sorts of websites out there where you can earn money from being at home. So it's worth having a little look. Hello, Angela. Nice to see you. I stabbed myself in the thumb yesterday. So yeah, so as you see, it's all changing in here. I've always sold my photos as a hobby. I only get about £10 a photo, and over the years I've only sold 15 or so, but they just sit there and you never know when one may sell. Yeah, exactly. You know, and now's the time for your retirement price to come out, because you've got places like eBay and Amazon that are doing deals now and saying to everybody, you know, we're not going to stress you out for the money for the listings, and they're doing an extra amount of free listings and so on and so forth. So, you know, my advice to those of you that were thinking about this at some point, now is the time to do it, right? Now is the time, whilst you've got the time, whilst you're stuck at home, Now is the time to change your eBay account or make a new eBay account just for this. And then list the items, like I've told you before, decide on the price that you want for them. A realistic price that makes it really worth your while doing what you've done. List them for sale, forget about it. List them for sale, organise them, little boxes, label on the front, put them in there, and then just leave it there. It don't matter, like Judith does her photos, just leave it there. Because once you've taken a photo and you've put it up on a website for sale, if it sells in 2 years or 2 days, you've earned some money. If you ain't earned any money, it ain't cost you anything. Putting it on eBay, if it ain't cost you anything. So put the listing up there, put your retirement price on it, put the price you want for that item on it, and then just leave it. And build your store, build your pension. That's how you could look at it. There's a few of you going to be sitting there now going, oh, I didn't look at it like that. You've got the time and you're being paid to stay at home. Whether the government is paying you or whether your employer is paying you, you're being paid to stay at home. Look at it like you're being paid to set yourself up a little business. You're being paid to work for yourself. No, you don't get that ever. All these years, you know. No one pays me for trying to set up a little business and work for myself. Now you've got a massive opportunity, massive. So start listing. List one item every day so that the listing of it doesn't make you fed up. If you just put one item, just one listing every day on eBay, or Amazon, one listing. At the end of this, a year's time, you'd have put 350 listings up there. That's 350 retirement listings up there at the price that you really want for something. You know, so you could, by the end of this, you could actually have yourself a little, it's there. Now, if the price that you put is more than it ever sells at, well, that's fine. It just means that the work is done, it's sitting there, and one day, the market will catch up with the price that you put, and one day it will start selling. And when it does, it will be a big, like Judith's photos, it will be like, oh, except it won't be £10. You might be making £10, you might be making 20 or 50, depending on where you're going to go with it. So one of my advices would certainly be for people to start looking at their pension, start looking at your retirement, and use this year to build some of it, as I'm going to do. I'm going to use this year to try and get out of trouble. I'm going to use this year to put another side of the business together, and I'm going to use this year to do as much damage as I can to 288 Group and the Royal Mint. And all the things that I need and want to do, I'm going to use this year to do them. And you should too. Well, I'm not saying you should go and spank 288 or the Royal Mint. I'm just saying use this year to do whatever, you know, whatever it is that you need to do for you. And take advantage of this opportunity. Or you could be like a lot of people and just look at it just so negatively. But I try really hard not to be negative. I try to be positive. I try to look at the positive of things. I try to look at the potential of things. I like to, you know, not just look at the negatives. Otherwise, you're just going to walk around wanting to kill yourself and hang yourself because everything's just doomy and gloomy. But there's always positives and potentials, even in doom and gloom. So, there we are. I should make another cup of tea. Look at that, I've been rabbiting an hour. What else was I going to cover this morning? Yeah, so as you see, all of this has been taken apart. And all of that's been taken apart, and I'm now in the process of turning this back into a dining room. This will be, I'm going to make this a dining room come office as opposed to an office. That's essentially what I'm doing. Because that's what I started saying. See, the world is going to change for an awful lot of people, and a lot of people think they're just going to be able to pick their lives up where they dropped it off in a year's time, and I don't think I will be able to do that. I have a funny feeling that an awful lot of people, me included, will not be able to just pick up where you left off. So what's the point? What's the point of the whole idea of this was to make it as easy as possible when we sit down and do the posting, picking out individual coins, individual dates, that kind of thing. My love. And that's not needed now, because I'm not going to be doing that kind of posting and stuff, and I'm not going to be doing that for well over a year. So why do I need to leave it set up to do that? I might as well take it apart. And I know also, I have a funny feeling that there won't be a Logan or a Kelly in a year's time. I think an awful lot of people like me will end up losing people like Kelly and Logan, simply for the fact that in a year, chances are they're going to find something else. And if I haven't got the same business that I had when they come back, then they haven't got a job to come back to, if the job doesn't exist. So, you know, there's things like that that are all pretty up in the air and scary. But for the moment, I have to work on the possibility that there, as well as much as working on the possibility that I will get Kelly or Logan back, or a Kelly and Logan, I have to also work on the possibility that I won't. And I think I'm erring more on the side of the fact that I don't think they will. I don't think we will have that kind of business in a year's time. So I'm thinking, okay, this is the right time. Empty all of this out and start again. This time I'll have a dining room, and I can have it a little bit officey, i.e. I can work out of it without all of this mess. Because without doing day-to-day posting, I won't need all this. Photo for me is what Judith uses. So put up an item number, you won't be able to do links. Oh no, of course you won't be able to do links. But then again, you can always let me know you've got, when you're ready, and I can just give you a spanner for 2 minutes, and then you can post the link, and then I'll take the spanner off. Either that, or you could give me the link, or give it to Chris, and we'll put it up for you. And then, you know, people can go and see it, as if you wanted them to, then people could go and see Judith's account and see how she does it. And then, you know, maybe even look at doing something similar yourself. I joined about 4 different photo sites that you could sell your photos to, but I never did it properly. And therefore, I've never sold a photo. I mean, I think I put crap photos up. I didn't know what I was doing, so I just put every photo up that was in my phone, on the basis that maybe someone might want to buy one of them. As for whatever reason, I don't know. But that was a silly idea. That didn't work. It actually seems to me that from the photograph's point of view, it's better if you upload them one at a time and literally spend time making sure that that is the, you know, and not doing it the way I did it, because it didn't pay. If it paid, I'd have told you. Ooh, cup of tea. Thanks. Cup of tea. Look at that, a bit of subliminals just in time. Ian Glenn must hate me using this mug. Still. Look at it this way, Ian. One day we'll be able to sit down, have a cup of tea, chinwag across the table, and laugh about all of this. Will we laugh? We'll have a little tickle. little giggle over all of this. teespring.com/no288. In the meantime, my other plan, as you know, is to take a load of posts and get them loads and loads of shares on. And to that end, we've got a group of people, the VIP group. We've adapted that. So you've got to evolve and adapt. We've adapted that, and we're now only doing what you can win on that, or what you get on that, is a £1,000 parcel, coin parcel. Now I am looking for somebody to say, because I'm going to do a stamp parcel and prints and stuff like that. So if anybody that joins in with a VIP group specifically would like a print parcel, or would like a stamps parcel, or would like a mixture and not just necessarily coins, then let me know and I will put one together for you. I'd like to put one together for the stamps, because I could get the stamps out of my way then. I don't need all the boxes and everything. So, and if there's enough of the stamps, although they could all fit in an envelope, but I'll send it in a parcel, obviously. That'd be the important thing. And I've been looking at what's going to go in these coin parcels as well, you know, which will be quite a lot. So we've already got one parcel to do for somebody that's reached it. And I am going to, now there's a certain amount of automation that can be done with this kind of thing. So when somebody's going to do it using automation, we need to change the rules a little bit, change the parameters a little bit. And anybody that's going to use automation, speak to me. But I'm thinking, don't want to offend anybody, but at the moment I'm thinking like we're doing 1,000 shares, but if someone's using automation, then perhaps we ought to put it up to 5,000, because you get less return from an automation than you do from an actual. Even though automations tend, you know, or the way that the automations that I've seen at the moment are still putting them on real people's accounts. They're not just false accounts or anything like that. They're going on real people's accounts. But we need to adapt and morph and change and as we go along and stuff like that. So anyway, but yes, it's working. That is the important thing. And one of them's got about 1,200 shares on it, I think. And Chris, about 1,200. Probably gone up now. It's probably gone up to 1,500, I should think. You want to see Chris's channel? He's picking up more subscribers than I am. I think that the video I did for the £1,000 parcel on YouTube, I've had about 400 hits to it. You have a look at it on Chris's YouTube, he's had about 10,000. I bet it's more than that now. So there's all sorts of ways of getting attention about and stuff like that, and getting the publicity and that. And if you are into the VIP group sharing, what I've also found is, I need to show you something. 1.2k last time I looked. I need to show you something on how it works on the Facebook. Right. Pay attention. Whoops. Right. So I'm on my Facebook, right? Now you know this page, which is those three lines there. You click on those three lines there and you come to this page. Now look, when you come to this page, on your Facebook, you will see just one. You'll see your name, so it would be Judith Lightfoot at the top there. And there'd be nothing underneath it. right? The reason that there are things underneath it is because I've got an Ian Lambert fan page, so that's a page I've created. The Great British Coin Hunt is a page I've created, and Rest in Peace George William Lambert is a page I've created. So, why is that so important? Let me explain. The reason that that's so important is because if I was to go and let's go to what we want to find is a post, something that's got a share button on it, anything with a share button. Let's just keep looking until we find something we can share. There, there's one, it's got a share on it. See, some of them, you know, you go looking and it says send. I don't understand that. And then another one, it will say share. So you couldn't share that to your Facebook. I don't get it. Anyway, I don't understand half of this. But important, share, right? Now watch this. I can share. I can share to a group. And these are the groups that I've joined under my profile. So if it was Judith Lightfoot, there you are, you'd see Judith Lightfoot's name up the top there and all the groups that she's belonged to. And then you can just hit the button and share it. Okay, and what I did at the beginning was I went share, 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 share. They don't like that. They don't like you doing that because you're sharing too much and they class that as spam. So you have to go on and I write all this down on a piece of paper, and then so I'll write have your say down on a bit of paper, free speech, and I'll make a list of all of these, and then I'll send it to have your say, and then I'll tick it off on the list. And then I'll come back 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whenever, don't matter, and I'll hit the button again to free speech and I'll tick that one off the list. So I know where I've done it to, right? But there's something else important. What's this? Maybe I don't want to share it as Ian P. Lambert, because when you join groups, you get the option of joining the group or the page under your page's name. So these are all the groups that I've joined under Ian P. Lambert fan page. These are separate to the groups that I've joined under my own main Facebook page. Got it? You'll see there's a lot of ostomy here, because I've got an ostomy, so there's a lot of ostomy here in my main page, my Ian Lambert, but when you look at, there isn't. These are all different groups. And then look at this. Have a look from the Great British Coin Hunt. These are all the groups I joined under the so the Great British Coin Hunt page is the member of these groups. Not me, it's the Great British Coin Hunt that's the member. So if I now share a post, it will be the Great British Coin Hunt that is sharing the post. So you might say, well, why does that make a lot of difference then? Well, why does that make a lot of difference? It makes a lot of difference because under Ian, my normal profile, I've joined about 40 groups, 50 groups. Under my page, Ian, I've joined a load of groups. And under the Great British Coin Hunt, I've joined a load of groups. Just between the Great British Coin Hunt and the Ian page is 120 groups between the two pages. That's without my personal. Yes, I keep getting myself blocked for a week here and a week there, and I'm still blocked now until the 31st. But that's because I've gone on to share as Ian fan page or the Great British Coin Hunt, and I did it this week. I literally went boom, 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 and did the entire lot, 120 shares, wallop, within 10 minutes. And cover your bank card. Oh yeah, within 10 minutes, I'd done all the shares. Well, of course, it blocks me again for another week. So But if you go back and you share a bit here and a bit there and a bit here and a bit there and a bit here and a bit there. Now, why is this so good? Well, you can actually use their system. See, obviously their system is seeing that if I share something as Ian Lambert and I share something as the Ian Lambert fan page and then I share something as the Great British Coin Hunt, that's 3 different shares. But in a sense, it's 3 different people making the shares. So if I was to make 10 shares on each one in a day, that's 30 shares overall in a day. But if you do it too quick, it will still block you. So don't do it too quick. So the aim of that, and I'm going to do this more, is make a page. So look at pages. I wouldn't suggest you make a group. The difference between a group and a page doesn't need as much taking care of and looking after as a group. With a group, other people can paste and post posts like we're doing to their groups. So when you've got other people making posts in your group, you need to watch it, you need to make sure nobody's posting porn and all that kind of stuff. So it becomes a bit of work looking after a group. Whereas with a page, the only place people can post is in the comments. They can't actually make posts on a page if you've got that switched. Bit subliminal. So you could make a page and you could call that page Judith Likes Mugs. I'm giving you a ridiculous one, right? Because then you can see, you know, if you can do it with a ridiculous name, you can do it with any name. So might go, right, Judith Likes Mugs. And then she puts up a couple of pictures of a mug. She makes a page. Now, when she's joining groups, she will, not always, not every single time you go to join a group, sometimes it will automatically join you under your name. Don't know why it doesn't give you the choice every single time. But a lot of the times, it will give you the choice as to how you want to join that group. Do you want to join that group under you, Judith Lightfoot, or do you want to join that group under the page Judith Likes Mugs? And it's really easy to set yourself up a page. And you don't have to really use that page for anything else other than what we're doing, if you don't want to. Or if Judith really does like mugs, or maybe Judith really likes cats, and she might think, oh, I'll put a picture up with, I like cats, and I'll put a picture of a cat up. And then when she goes joining these groups, she'll be joining the group under the name Judith Likes Cats, or whatever. You can have as many pages as you want. So you can make 10 pages if you like. So where you see me show you under my name, that bit, and you see that I've got my account and 3 pages underneath it. Well, if you had 10, that'd be a list of 10. And so what I've started to do is I'll make one of them. So the Great British Coin Hunt only joins coin and money related groups. And Ian P. Lambert might join crowdfunding groups. And my main profile might be ostomy and disability groups. And so I can separate it out that way. And then, as I say, also make a list of all the groups and then tick them off as you do them. And then that way you can work through and get absolutely every single group that you've joined without double posting to a group and peeving somebody off. If you're new and if you've just come in, whatever, and you haven't, hit the thumbs up for us. I'm trying to work out why last Friday we got 80 of them and we haven't at any other time. So that is a good way to be able to join and share to more groups. Important thing is, don't do too many at once like that. I do that and get blocked. And you block for a week, can't do any sharing. So with me, I just go off and make another account and then do it again slowly. And you can do that. I made an account in the Hector's name. I made one in Casper's name. The one in Hector's name is still running. The one in Casper's name has been blocked and they won't let me have it back. 18,000 views on his YouTube link. Look at that, Chris. I've managed to find a link to one of my photos if this helps. Yeah, that's fine. text it to me, because I can put it up. So just send me the link in that text. Bit subliminal. I forgot what I was talking about now. Oh yeah, joining the groups. Yeah, so yeah, so I found that a whole lot easier. So you can make a group don't make a group about coronavirus. Don't bother with any of that, because they have adjusted their settings to delete a lot stronger, because of trying to cut down misinformation. And I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong. I think what Facebook have done and are doing is wrong. Really, really wrong. They are stopping people from sharing information. They're stopping people from helping each other. It could end up costing lives with what they're doing. It's outrageously wrong. And I'm not just talking about stopping people spamming. I'm talking about stopping people using Facebook the way that it was designed, because, oh, you share too much, oh, you've made too many posts, oh, we don't like the name coronavirus in the title, oh, you know. And so many groups and pages and posts are being deleted by Facebook. And you might go, well, what's wrong with that then? Well, I think there's something wrong with a system that will delete group pages and fan pages that have been set up, like ours was, set up specifically to help people through this time, help people get shopping. My group, the one I wanted to set up, my page, wasn't about anything else apart from the coronavirus, really, apart from helping people get shopping. It's like I wanted to encourage people to put up links to help people buy online shopping, which is what we all need to do right now, right, and take the strain off of the shops. That's what we need to do right now. And they deleted that, not just mine, but they've deleted loads and loads. But you can still access hardcore pornography, because on some of the things I search for, it gets a bit close to the mark sometimes, you know, and then stuff I come across and I think, Jesus Christ, is that on Facebook? How is that on Facebook? How do you come across, or even find on purpose, how do you come across hardcore pornography in 2020? So that means that they are unable to take that off. They have no way of taking it off, because we're now in 2020 and that kind of stuff is still there. And I remember telling a friend of mine when they was going on Facebook and they want their kids on Facebook, and I said, just bear in mind the fact that there's a lot of pornography on Facebook. It's the easiest and fastest way people can go and get hardcore pornography, actual hardcore pornography, and it is there on Facebook, videos, pictures, the lot. And they're not taken down. You know, remember, Facebook is 13 years old onwards. 13. Some of the stuff I've seen on Facebook, I don't know how that would have affected me had I been able to see that at the age of 13. That's available now. And so that's why I get annoyed when they take off groups and posts and things people put up to help other people through this terrible time. I know. Now, they've got to come off, because we've got to be really careful that even though it's good information, it doesn't get mixed in with misinformation. So we're going to take off the good information in order to, yeah, that's what we're going to do, and we're going to make it really difficult for everybody. But we won't take off the porn. Oh no. No, hardcore porn, no, we'll leave that there. That's why it makes me angry. Boom, 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 boom. That's so blue. Who remembers that? Do you remember that advert? It's like little tiny, but you can't forget it. Boom, 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 boom. That's so blue. Right, chat. How do we get in there? There we are. I got it. There you go. So there's the link. If you click on that link, you'll go through to either Judith's shop or one of her listings, one or the other. And you can see type of website it is, you can see type of photographs she's got up for sale, and that might give you some ideas. You know, it's not about copying as such, because you can't copy. You can't copy unless you happen to go to exactly the same place that Judith went to and put your camera in exactly the same position, and it's exactly the same camera, and then you can take exactly the same picture, right? So you can't copy anybody. It's not about copying, but it's about looking at someone like Judith and go, oh, okay, oh, that kind of photo, oh, I wouldn't have thought that, and it might give you some ideas, right? She might have a photo of a building, and you might think, oh, I didn't think that sort of thing would sell. Oh, okay, I know some really nice buildings, and so on. So you get ideas. Bit subliminal. And the other thing is, I'm not going away. So I'm going to be like a bit of a bad smell. I'm going to be here every day. Whether you're here or not, I should be here every day. And I will do my best to come on and do 11 o'clock till 1 every day if I can. If I don't run out of puff. And hopefully at some point, you might have another guest alongside with me. We might get someone back. I can't use StreamYards or anything like that at the moment. I can only use YouTube live link. But I have got a laptop on its way back to me, I believe. So when I get that laptop, I will finally be able to do StreamYards on my own. And then if you want, some of you can come up and join me. We'll have to see. Right then, do we have any questions, Iz? Remember, people like all different things, they do. They do. Bit of advice somebody told me once, and it's quite true. Bit of advice when you go to do buying and selling. If you're not sure what to buy and you're looking around and you're thinking, what should I put in my shop? Should I buy some of those or should I buy some of those? You've got to be careful because, of course, you can buy something you get stuck with and you don't sell it. So a good bit of advice is pick out the things that you like and then don't buy them. That is the going advice in the retail trade. Look at what you specifically, individually like and then don't buy it. Don't buy what you like because not many other people will like what you like. That's why you don't walk into house after house after house and see the same pictures, the same ornaments, the same colour scheme, the same carpet, the same curtains, the same sofa, and so on. It's because we all like something different. So you look at what you don't like, and you've got more chance of selling that if you buy it than you have something you do like. Oh, Mr. Blacksmith Jones, just looking at Judith's photo. Pardon me. Terrible. Some of you might have other things that you've got an interest in, you know. Things like people that want to build a channel, for example. People that are interested in Facebook or YouTube from a channel building point of view. All sorts of things you could do, like gardening. Or, you know, and doing a daily, so people can see how your vegetables are growing. I might show you how mine are. Oh no, I won't be able to because it's too far away from my house. Unless I do a video. I won't be able to show you live because it's too far away from the Wi-Fi. But yeah, you know, things like that. Things that you can do where there's going to be a change, where you can do an ongoing thing. You know, building a wall, so many things for us to think about doing now, aren't there? All them jobses, little jobses you've got around the house need doing. Yes. Now, we've hit that point where I need a bit of a jimmy, and there's no point me going off and then coming back because I've only got about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go, something like that. So, we've been on 75, oh no, we've only been on an hour. Oh yeah, been on an hour. What are we going to do about that? I could let you watch the garden again. That's what we do. I'll let you watch the garden again and I'll come back. I was going to call it a day, but I'll come back for a minute. In the meantime, perhaps you can think of a couple of questions. Go for a wee now or not? Yeah. Chris says running water, running water. That's the thing, isn't it? Leave it near running water. 1 hour 25 minutes. It's doing that playing up thing now. I don't know what's wrong with the internet. Maybe like everyone around here is using the internet at the same time. Sometimes that causes a problem, but I'm having that reconnect problem keep coming up. So it might be a good idea to leave it there. If you remember when we used to do it before Butch and all the rest of it, when I first started doing it, I'd be on for a while and then we'd crash. Then be on for a while and then we'd crash. Then be on for a while and then we'd crash. So we've done well, 79 minutes, we've done well. I think we'll leave it there and call it a day there. And if you've got any questions at all that you can think of overnight, then think of them and ask me tomorrow. All right? Other than that, I wish everybody a very safe day. Lots of love out my bucket to everybody. And we'll catch up tomorrow. Is that all right? Have a good day, everybody, and stay safe. And we'll see you soon. Thank you very much just for popping in. And Stevie's bucket too.